Koloski. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you. I am the Education Program Manager here at Effective UI, which means I run our internal education efforts as well as education we provide to clients. I've been doing digital design since the late 90s in San Francisco, so I got started out in the dot-com boom. And let's get started. Most of the time what we're going to be doing is workshopping. We are going to be doing the entire design thinking process in an hour here, okay? So it's going to be fast and furious and hopefully fun. So what is design thinking? Design thinking, I like everything about it except the name. The name is terrible. It makes you think of all the things that it actually isn't. So here's my definition of design thinking. Design thinking is really about creating something. So it's not about the aesthetics. It's not about Helvetica. It's not about white space even. It's not about the polish on top of a thing. It's about creating something, anything. A service, a product, a website, a process, all kinds of things can be created through design thinking. And it's really about using a human-centered process to do that, which is what we will do momentarily. And it's really not about thinking. It really has a bias towards action. So one of the things you may experience today is that I am not going to give you enough time to think. You will not have fully collected your thoughts. You won't feel good about them. They will feel messy and unformed, and that's exactly how you should be doing it. It should feel like not enough time to think, and you should be doing more than you're thinking. So creating something through a human-centered process with the bias toward action isn't really a very good name either. So we will call it design thinking for the rest of today, but keep in mind that that's some things that go on during the process. We're going to take a quick look at the steps. How many people have seen this little image? Yep. So this is directly from Stanford D School. If you're interested in design thinking, you're definitely going to want to start looking at all the wonderful stuff Stanford D School offers. They're very generous with their thinking. So is IDEO. So I borrowed this straight from them. And in fact, the activity we're about to do is also from Stanford D School. I'm not going to actually talk too much about the steps, except because we're going to do them, except to talk a tiny bit here about what's the connection to innovation. So who here is interested in innovation in some sense? You like creating new stuff? Yeah, me too. It's fun. So my really quick overview of like what is innovation is you want to come up with something new, because that's really fun, but also you want to see it through to fruition, right? You don't just want to have ideas, but you actually want to see them go to market or see them get put in place in your company, something like that. So the way design thinking lets you do that is this. So typically, if you kind of come from like standard business world thinking, you think that the ideas come from the ideation, that the ideas just appear, right? The ideas appear, and then sort of on their own merit, they either come to fruition or they don't. What design thinking tells us is that really most of the ideas actually come from the empathize stage. That's where the really great ideas come from. They also come from the prototype and testing. So that quick loop of ideate, prototype, test that you actually do thousands of quick times, if you're really doing it right, is the way more ideas come from, is the place more ideas come from. And even the define stage, which we will also take a look at today. And then once you have all these great ideas, right, or not great ideas, because the truth is we have no idea, actually, whether the ideas are any good at all. We're actually terrible judges of how good the ideas are. So this is how you find out. You find out how to get something. I have a great idea, or I have a terrible idea. Nobody ever thinks that. I have a great idea. This is how you actually get them through to fruition, whether that's in the market, in your company, whatever it is you want to do with them. It's mostly in that ideate, prototype, test loop, again, that you're going to do thousands of times quickly if you're doing it right. And you're also going to get much better ideas through the empathize and define stages. So really, the whole process is around getting good ideas to come to light, making them better so that they can make it to daylight in the real world. Okay, so it sounds really cute, I know. It's kind of like adorable sounding and maybe a little kindergartnery when you first see it. Has all these primary colors. Doesn't seem like very businessy often, I think, to some folks. So here's a few big name companies who do use design thinking in the real world. And one little name company at the bottom of the list there, that's Effective UI. Google, especially if you're interested, there's a guy named Tom Chi who basically led up Google Glass. He's a good one to Google if you want to see his videos talking about design thinking and the design thinking process and how he applied it to Google Glass. He's very sort of charming and cool guy. He explains it well, so you might want to look those up if you're interested. But you've also got these big, like, kind of what we think of as not innovative companies, right? Like GE or Kraft or Procter & Gamble. You wouldn't necessarily think of them as caring that much, but they are also definitely using design thinking throughout their organizations. So that's it. That's my whole introduction. Like I said, we're mostly going to do here, not talk. So this might be a little painful. I think it'll be fun. But if it's a little painful, hang in there. Keep moving to the next step, even though it feels bad, okay? I think it'll turn out okay in the end. Everybody needs a partner. This is the time to actually make eye contact with someone, shake their hand, introduce yourself, and decide that you are going to be partners. Okay, I need half the people to declare themselves partner A and raise their hands. If you are partner A, raise your hand. Great. That means partner B, raise your hand. Good. Everybody remember what they are? A. A, B. Good. Okay. We got that. We got A, B. We got the bell. What do you do when you hear this? Shush. Thank you. If you feel lost, yes, sir.
Are there any handouts? Any more handouts?
So you should have that one stapled packet.
Yeah, we need one more.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. Does anybody not have a packet of papers? Everybody should have one of those. Everybody else has one? Okay. And we're ready, you guys. You guys ready? You ready? Okay. So today's design challenge is to redesign the gift-giving experience for your partner. And you're thinking, the gift-giving experience? What does that mean? So think about the last time you gave a gift. Okay? I had to do this recently. It was my husband and mine 10th wedding anniversary. And so I was trying to think of a good gift. What's a good gift? What could I give him? So I'm planning, I'm thinking. I ended up making something, did some wrapping. Maybe I did some shopping in order to make the thing. And then there was the actual giving. So that whole spectrum of stuff, right? From I have a gift thing I need to give to the actual giving of it. All that stuff in between is what we're going to redesign. So we're not necessarily focusing on software today. You can do software stuff if you want to, but you don't have to. You may come up with stuff around product, service, what's the other one I'm missing? I don't know, new kind of wrapping paper. You can come up with anything. You're not designing a gift, okay? You're redesigning the gift-giving experience. What is that process like for your partner? Does it make sense, kind of, so far? Raise your hand if yes. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. It's a little weird, I know. All right, so everybody's got their paper. Everybody knows who A is, right? And everybody knows who B is. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to empathize with our partner. You're going to work with your partner the whole time. So you're designing for them. You're not designing for yourself. You're not designing for other people you know. You're designing for your partner. And you are working on your own design. You're not designing collaboratively. They are designing for you and you are designing for them. Okay? All make sense? Okay, so we're going to do interviews first. First thing you're going to do is interview. Partner A is going to share first. They're going to say, hey, I had to give my husband a wedding anniversary gift, and he really likes whiskey, but that's kind of boring, blah, blah, blah. They're going to tell their little story about the last time they gave a gift. Partner B is going to listen and ask questions such as, how'd you come up with the idea? What was difficult? Why'd you do that? What happened next? You're just going to listen to their story, okay? Have them tell their story. Make sense? Yeah. Great. You're going to have 4 minutes, and then I'm going to bell, and that's when you know you're going to switch, and the other person's going to tell their story, okay? Ready? Everybody good? Any questions before we start? Okay. 4 minutes. Go. Switch. Quiet for me for a sec. Come on down for a sec. Thank you. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, okay, first of all, is anybody feeling totally lost after that? It's working? Okay. We're going to interview again, same order. You'll have a little less time, about 3 minutes each. And basically, I want you to go back and dig deeper on what you heard from your partner the first time. So ask why a lot. You can even ask the 5 whys, which is, oh, and why is that? 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 Okay? And you can, I also want you to dig more this time. You probably got a lot of facts the first time, and then this happened, and then I did this, and there were lots of nice events. I want you to listen more this time or find out more about their feelings during the process. What was hard? What was easy? What was fun? What was disappointing? What was nerve-wracking? What was delightful? Okay? So lots of whys, and dig for feelings and find out more about that same experience, that same story they told you. Go back into it and dig around, okay? You'll have 3 minutes. Go ahead and start in the same order. Off you go. Switch. Switch sides. Okay, come back up here for a sec. Eyes on me. Okay, everybody good? Sounds good? Sounds good out there. All right, so next we're going to the define stage. Next step on the chart. So flip your paper, go to page 2. And what you're going to do first is the left side of the paper. So you are going to reflect individually now. This part's not a conversation. So you're going to think about what you just heard, about what your partner is trying to achieve. So for example, maybe their real goal is, like my colleague Lindsay said, to avoid that awkward gift face. Oh, thank you. Maybe their real goal is they love surprising people. It's all about surprise. They don't actually really care if the person likes the gift. They're about surprise. Maybe the goal is I've got 75 grandchildren and I just need to get through this process as quickly and easily as possible. So whatever you heard about their goals, their needs, their wishes. And then you're also going to jot down some insights. So this is the part where you're going to make some inferences. So you're going to kind of guess here. So you can kind of read between the lines a bit about what your partner said. Think about what you could maybe glean about their motivations or something you heard going on, maybe something they're experiencing that they don't even see. So as you see it, just jot down whatever insight comes to mind. Might be wrong, it's okay. You're just going to jot it down, okay? You're going to have 3 minutes, and then I'm going to interrupt again. Off you go. We're going to do the other half. So here's where you're going to create a problem statement. So you're going to basically fill in the blanks. It's like a little Mad Lib, thank you. So what's the real problem here that you're trying to solve as you see it? So for so-and-so sitting or standing next to you, and you can cheat and look at their name tag. That's a handy place to have that. Needs a way to something. Pick a need. Okay, they might have expressed quite a few needs. Pick a need you find interesting and compelling. And then the sort of tricky part at the bottom is pick an insight. So because why, or but why, or surprisingly, what else is going on? So for example, maybe Martha needs a way to show her appreciation to her friends. And surprisingly, her friends actually don't seem to know how much she appreciates them. So something like that might be the kind of thing you're going for. Yes, Lindsay?
I put down like 3 needs, 3 insights, or like...
Just one. Just pick something juicy that you want to work on that feels real from what you heard from your partner, okay? Pick one thing. Cool? Okay, you have about 3 minutes for that. Off you go. Okay, so now that you have that, flip to the next page. We're going to move to the next big step, which is ideate. So jot that same problem statement down really quick at the top of the page so you can keep track of it. That's what you're trying to solve. It's just the same thing you just wrote. Just jot it down again. And then, fun part, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to start sketching solutions. So that can be anything. Again, remember, if you want to do software-based solutions, go for it. If a product, service idea, something else came to mind, you're going to open a restaurant, whatever it is, you're going to start jotting that in the squares. Feel free to use the extra paper if you run out of space. This is the classic time. You're going for quantity over quality. Try not to judge, try not to filter them out because you don't think they're good. Just put them down on the paper, even if you don't like them, okay? And yes, I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes for that. Okay, so everybody come up with close to 5 at least? Great. So now what you're going to do is you're going to share with your partner, and we're going to take turns again, so same order. First person will start. You're going to share your ideas, and what I want you to try really hard to do is explain as little as possible. So don't go into a big monologue about the idea and how great it is and the business model and all this stuff. Give them a sentence or two and show them the picture. And then let them talk. Listen to what they have to say back. They should actually be talking more than you when you're the one sharing your ideas, okay? Does that make sense? So you're gonna have about 4 minutes, maybe 3.5 per side, okay? So go ahead and, same order you've been doing stuff, share, off you go. Okay, hold on, I know, this is really fun. True confessions, how many people started pitching their idea? Come on. Thank you for being honest, I appreciate that. It's really hard not to, right? You're excited about it, so you start explaining and explaining more and explaining more. What I really try hard to stay back, just put enough out there that they can react to it, and your main goal is to gather feedback, not pitch your idea. This may be very different from other things you've heard around Startup Week. We are not pitching here. We are learning, okay? Switch sides. You have about 3 minutes. I know, it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop. Shh, do it anyway. Thank you. Okay, everybody good? Everybody get feedback? Less pitching? Good job. All right, so now you're going to iterate. So you're going to go to the next sheet. And this is your chance to think about what you learned. Again, you're designing for your partner. You're actually not trying to design a mass market service or product right now. You are literally designing for your partner and their needs. So based on what you just heard from them and their reactions, make a new idea or modify something you already had going and just pick one thing that you're excited about and you really think would work for them. You have about 3 minutes to jot that down on that paper, okay? The last step, we're already at the last step. And this is prototype. Oh no, it's not the last step. There's test after that. I should know that. Prototype. Okay, this is actually going to be the hardest part, probably. You now are trying to build something. So we have paper, we have pens, we have tape, and we have scissors. And what you're trying to do is build something that the other person can react to without you explaining anything. So you're not trying to write a paragraph, you're not trying to write a business plan. You're trying to make a model or something that they can actually react to. So maybe I came up with some great idea for some airport kiosk. I'm going to build it out enough that they can actually look at it and be like, this is really dumb, or I really like that thing, or something. They can actually look at it and know what's going on. Maybe you have an idea like for a service that needs a website. So you might need to pick a small part to prototype. And so you might say, okay, I'm going to do a page or two that you would go to in order to understand the service and opt in. And you should have words that shouldn't look like mine. It should have the actual words so that the person can look at it as if you're not there and be like, yeah, that sounds cool, or like, I would never do this, whatever they're going to react to. So this can be hard. If you're having trouble thinking of how to prototype something about your idea, please raise your hand and our floating facilitators can help. If you're not having a hard time, go. You got about 7 minutes to build something. Okay, wherever you are is perfect. Don't stress out, okay? We're gonna test now. Here's what I really want you to do. As much as possible, do not explain. Definitely do not pitch. I want you to just give them enough scenario that they kind of have a sense of what they're looking at. So for this one, so if this is my airport kiosk, what I want to say to my partner is, you're walking down the airport and you see this thing. And then I want to stop talking and I want them to talk about it, okay? So just give them enough scenario that they even kind of know what they're looking at, and then stop talking and get them to talk as much as you can. You're gonna have about 3 minutes on each side, so go ahead and start in your same order and I'll let you know when it's time to switch. Okay. I know, you're having fun over there. Shush for a sec. How many people explained a lot? Nobody? Okay, thank you for your honesty. It's very hard not to, I know. One tip for the next group, try to physically release the prototype. Like, take your hands off of it. Like, it's not yours, it's theirs. Give it to them and let them react to it, okay? So again, you're not explaining, you're not pitching, just enough context that they know what they're looking at, and then draw out feedback from them, okay? Off you go, switch sides, you got about 2.5 minutes. So, you did it, you got to the end, yay! How did that feel? Anybody? Oh, good. I heard some awesomes. What else? I heard something over here. It was fun. Okay.
Basically the same ideas for each other.
Oh, good. So whose partner designed something for them that really hit it on the head? Yeah, back there. Tell me about what was designed. The person who designed it, tell me about it. What did you design for your partner? He says it was great. He thought it was awesome.
You pointed at him, right?
Yeah, I want the designer.
You didn't say mine was awesome.
Who had one who they thought was somebody designed something really great for them?
No, you really are.
Okay, he's being modest. Tell us about, what did you learn about your partner and what did you design for him?
So I learned that it's basically between him and his mom, and they are, they're located at opposite ends of the country, and they both have the same love for golf.
Okay.
And she has pretty much anything that she wants, and he's kind of sick of giving her the same kind of golf gift card kind of thing.
Yep.
So she's very sentimental and enjoys knowing about the past and kind of reflecting and just having love for the family.
Okay.
So there has been a death along the way that kind of impacted where things went. So made a good old-fashioned photo book, except one that's kind of a timeline-based one, and it revolves around their love for golf.
Ah,
and
cute.
so it starts with him being born, then his first picture playing golf and kind of progressing through, then playing golf with his grandfather. And then once his grandfather passed, ironically, his mother then picked up golf. So then it's pictures of his mother playing golf, them playing golf together, and finish it off with a tear-out coupon for them to both play golf together whenever, wherever they're together next.
Ah, okay, good. Great. Okay, good. So it sounds like you gleaned a lot from your partner and his needs. Somebody over here, who got something that was really great for them? Yes, tell us, what did you design for your partner? She says it was great. Can you tell us a little about it?
I'll get on TV.
Her problem was she put like no thought into gifts. It's like Amazon gift card, Visa gift card, you know. So the idea was you know, that she needed to create more unique gifts specific to the person she's giving it to.
Okay.
So I developed a gift-giving supercomputer.
Great.
That what you do is you take the person you want to give the gift to, you can get all their social media IDs just out of the URL bar, stick it in there, it goes through and it checks all their likes, all their things that they wanted, you know, the pages they've liked, whatever. And then it runs it through an algorithm that then filters gift ideas by budget.
Yep.
And then spits out a handful of ideas that would be a good gift idea for the person they're shopping for.
Great. Can you show us your prototype? Can you wave it around for us?
No, it's not fancy.
That's okay. It's not supposed to be fancy. Okay. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Who thought they had a really good idea and found out through testing maybe it wasn't quite gelling? Anybody? You all had perfect ideas the first time. 80 perfectly hatched ideas. Yes, ma'am. Tell us a little in the white. You raised your hand first.
So his attitude towards gift giving is like finding something special while he's out that reminds him of his friends or family and getting it. And it doesn't really abide by like Christmas or birthdays. It's really about like seeing something that it reminds him that he thinks that they'll really enjoy and surprising them. So it's about the surprise and the personalization of it. So I thought of a few different ideas, and one was like I quite hadn't worked out which would be the best route, but also sourcing some open source information personalized to your family and friends, and maybe either a calendar notification that came up that said you're going to meet with Jane later, or, you know, do you want to have a special experience, you know, this drop-down experience item, whatever. And then he kind of corrected me and said, well, you know, it might be good if you took this personalized information, like he had an example of a friend who loved Abraham Lincoln, and that, you know, like, oh, Abraham, your friend, whoever loves Abraham Lincoln, and the movie's playing next week, and you have open time on your calendar Monday and Tuesday night, you know, might be a great opportunity to go see it.
Great, good. So you learned that through the testing? Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah.
Anyone else come up with something that surprised them or stood out during the testing piece? Yeah, in the back.
What I developed is a partnership with the NSA and Facebook to get some API data on his friends. And so when you go to the website, it's really simple. It just says, who are you gifting today? And because Derek sometimes procrastinates, it says, when should it ship? And because he wants to be creative, maybe isn't exactly creative in his own mind, the question is there, are you feeling creative, yes or no? Assuming he has time and said he was feeling creative, then he gets to the next page, which is a make it at home. And it's a bill of materials that was generated by the NSA and Facebook, and it has the 3 different items you need to build it. It shows you what your total cost is and how long it'll take you to assemble that one at home. And in the end, it comes with the box also. If he wants it to be creative, but doesn't want to build it himself, Jane Doe is really excited to make it for him. And here are some options of what she can make, how much it costs, and something about Jane in case he wants to be philanthropic about having her do it for him. If that doesn't work, the last piece is just buy this cool stuff yourself. So we'll partner with that guy to make that work. He brought up a really good point that it's not going to be very empathetic if he's paying somebody else to build it himself. So that would have been a wasted feature that didn't need to come into the product.
Perfect, yeah. Great one to find out. Seemed like a great idea. I could see why you would have gone with it, and then you found out it doesn't really work for him. Feels weird, so that's perfect. How about you guys, so how different is this from your day-to-day life at work? Pretty different? I'm gonna take that as a pretty different. So, anybody have any thought about, on Monday, is there anything at all you can take away from what just happened? Is there anything at all you can take back and actually do with what we just did? If you thought some of it was valuable, what do you want to do with that? You may have any ideas? Yeah.
I'm curious about how could this work with a bigger team working on it?
With a bigger team? Well, there's 80 people here.
Well,
so.
there's 80 people here, but we're working on 80 different solutions.
Yeah.
Then we need to merge.
Yeah, how do you then converge?
We need to converge
yeah.
into something.
How do you converge? Yes, I can come over after. We can chat a bit about that. But basically what you would do is share all those solutions, and you would basically be testing and winnowing down by the testing, as opposed to everybody has to know everything about all solutions. The team can winnow down through rapid testing and find out, okay, now we've actually got a couple we're really excited about, now let's converge and figure out how we're gonna move forward. That's very high level thought on that. I know that did not fix all your process challenges, yeah.
I'm making sure you shut up.
Yeah.
That's the other half of listening.
It really is. Yeah, we are so attached to our own ideas. I am too. That it's really hard to just put it out there and let it go and let the other person receive the information back. But when you do, it's pretty friggin' awesome, I think. For some reason in business, we do tend to have a bias against this like messy, kindergartnery stuff. It feels not professional. It feels like not what we're paid to do. So it's often a cultural thing that we have to kind of overcome. Like, no, this is actually super helpful. This is actually real work right here. So if you know that, be brave, go into it, put your messy stuff out there. Any last one? Somebody on Monday. Jeremy Wilt.
Failure can be a good thing.
Failure can be a good thing, yes. Why?
Because you learn from it and make something better.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I really recommend Tom Chi. He's a very charming way of talking about going through the whole process of creating Google Glass. So for example, he's working with a team, and he had knowledge sometimes of like, that thing they want to do, I actually know that's not going to work because I've actually tried that thing. But he would just let them do it anyway, because by failing and realizing it, they could move on faster. It was faster than him trying to convince them of why the idea was bad. It's like, just try it, then we'll know, and we can all move on. Somebody have one last one? I saw a hand. No. Okay, that's it, you guys. If you would like to connect with me or Effective UI because you're excited about any of this, there's some places you can get a hold of us. Well, me and Effective UI. So the edu at Effective UI is our education services, and then info is just anything general. And you're certainly welcome to connect with me personally. I also have cards up here. You're more than welcome to come up and say hello, and I'd love to meet more folks here. And I think we just should give ourselves a big round of applause and call it a day.
I thought it was phenomenal. I loved the speed. I loved the practicality. I loved that there was not time to think. You just had to ready, set, go.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it was a 9. Yeah, it was really useful. There was a great energy with my partner, and I could tell the other people at my table were very energetic and participating in the activity. So just having that experience of actually being able to give them something, get their reactions was really helpful.
It was fun to actually get my hands dirty and do it myself, see what they had been going through, and walk away with more understanding of it.